Here to discuss brand new polling showing where likely voters stand on key economic and energy issues going into the 2024 election and how they are viewing candidates' records on these same issues. Today I have Chet Thompson, President and CEO of AFPM. Good morning, Chet. How are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
I'm doing great. So here's our
Good.
question. Where do the major candidates stand on issues like electric vehicle mandates and gas car bans?
So listen, consumers are really concerned, which makes the candidates really concerned. What we're talking about here right now are EPA regulations that will effectively ban the ability of consumers to buy a new gas car in 8 short years. So the candidates, we know where one of them stands clearly. Former President Trump has repeatedly made clear during the last year that on day number one in his second administration, he would reverse the ban and allow consumers to decide what types of cars they want to buy. It's a little bit more ambiguous where the Vice President Harris is on this issue. When she ran for president last, she said she supported a ban of gas cars. When she was in the U.S. Senate, she sponsored legislation that would require all cars in this country to be electric. But to be fair, her campaign a few weeks ago tried to walk that back a bit and said that she no longer supports that. But James, we're not 100% clear, frankly, because we haven't heard from Vice President Harris directly on her position.
Now, how do voters and consumers feel about those?
Well, voters are really concerned about this issue. We have seen nationwide throughout this entire year, overwhelmingly people oppose these mandates. In fact, 70% of all likely voters from all political stripes, Republicans, Democrats, and independents, say they strongly oppose EV mandates and internal combustion engine bans.
Now, tell us about the new vehicle standards recently imposed by the EPA. What are the potential costs of that policy? How do consumers feel about the regulation has been finalized?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was saying earlier, these regulations adopted by EPA, they set emission standards that are so stringent, and they did this intentionally, that they know that gas and diesel power cars can meet the standard, which is why we say it's effectively a ban. And in fact, what by EPA's own analysis, two things are really remarkable. One, they project that by 2032, auto companies will have to have 71% of all their new car purchases be electric. This regulation is the most expensive regulations ever adopted in this country. They estimate that this will cost about $870 billion over the next 30 years. And of course, the cost will have to be picked up by consumers. So this is very expensive, and it's going to rob consumers of the choice to pick cars that meet their needs.
Now, what are some of the other key takeaways from the Remington poll?
Well, the Remington poll focused in 5 swing states, and what it showed is that opposition in those states are comparable to the national average. About 60% of all likely voters say they oppose these standards. But James, another really important takeaway is that 50% of likely voters, according to this poll, in these swing states say they are less likely to vote for a candidate up and down the ticket who supports EV mandates and ICE bans. So this is an issue they care about, and they say they're going to hold their elected officials accountable.
Now, Chet, where can our viewers go for more information?
Well, your viewers can go to don'tbanourcars.com. There they can find more information about these regulations and on how to make sure their voices are heard in this really, really important political debate.
I know we're talking about America, Chet. What does the rest of the world feel about it, like Europe and Japan? Any idea?
Well, listen, I know they look to us for leadership. I know they look to us to help them with their energy security. But, listen, what's really important is what consumers in this country think, James, and no one likes to be told what they have to do. And, this isn't an anti-electric vehicle issue. What this is giving consumers the choice to pick cars that meet their family's budget, their family's needs. This This is about freedom. It's about choice. And it's clear that policymakers need to start to listen to their constituents. They don't want to be told they have to buy a car, particularly, cars that are more expensive and don't have the range that they need in their lives today.
I hear you, Chet. I definitely do. I've been hearing that since I was 14 or 15. I don't want to hear it, but I have to do. Chet Thompson, President and CEO of AFPMM. AFPM, thank you so much for joining us on Morning Blend. I'm sure you're the same way, too. Since you were 13 to 12, don't tell me what to do.
That was the surest way to get me to do the opposite. Thanks, James.
All right, thanks, Chet. Have a good one.
All right, bye-bye.